Hello and welcome to another edition. Okay, all right, elephant in the room. I've been gone. You can tell I've been gone because I have a little tan, gotten a little darker, a little sun-kissed. Yes, I've been on a 3-week hiatus. There's been a lot of things that have been going on. I've had to travel for work. I've had to travel for luxury. And I just have not been able to sit down and make a video. And I haven't even made a podcast for some of my Spreaker.com/L.I.F.T tutoring. That's more for the parents to listen to my different thoughts. But yeah, so I haven't been around. So I am back now and I am ready to tackle a great subject matter because instead of being behind this time, I'm actually going to be a little bit out in front of it. As out in front of it as you can be without having a pre-screener. Yes, I'm talking about having a review for Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, if you're a parent and you have not seen Spider-Man Homecoming, you need to go watch that. You probably should go watch Captain America Civil War, where he's first introduced. And you should definitely watch Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame to get the full scope of this Spider-Man that we're going to be talking about today. So let me restart this and do it right. Hit the music. Cue the music! Of L.I.F.T Tutoring. Thank you so much for being with the channel. Your likes, your subscriptions, your comments, your shares. That has continued to help us continue to grow the channel. And even though I've been on a 3-week hiatus, you guys have still been sticking with me and I appreciate it. So today we're going to jump right into it. Here is my spoiler-filled review of Spider-Man Far From Home. First of all, the thing that I love about this movie is that it's a semi-love story. We all know Peter Parker and MJ in this universe are semi-interested in each other. We've known Peter Parker's interested in her. And this is the movie where he's trying to set everything up. He's saying, we're going on a school trip and I've got this whole plan and I'm going to say this and do this and then hopefully she likes me. So that was actually really cute and it was nice. And it was a nice little human moment for Peter Parker to really display how he's trying to juggle real life and his own desires with his responsibility of being an Avenger, because he is technically an Avenger after Tony Stark made him an Avenger in space during Infinity War. The other thing that was great about this movie was we all went into this movie thinking that Mysterio was going to be a good guy, because that's what the trailer showed us. So we're thinking, what in the world is happening? Because how is this happening? He's working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's going to end up working with Spider-Man. I am an 80s baby who watched cartoons in the 90s and I had to wait until Saturday morning. Could not just load them up on Netflix whenever or on DVR, children. I had to wait, and the Mysterio episodes were always strange because you never knew what it was you were looking at, and Mysterio always just seemed to have this confrontation with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man couldn't figure him out, and it was just all very strange. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, Mysterio's a good guy? Oh, all right, okay. And they are telling you that they are on Earth 616, and there's now a multiverse. Now, wow, it's a multiverse. Oh, are they going to introduce the X-Men later? Are they going to roll in the Fantastic Four? Are they going to bring a kid-friendly version of Deadpool? Are they going to introduce Galactus? What is actually happening with this movie? Is this going to set up a lot of different things? Not so fast, viewer. It was another classic Marvel misdirection, and they did it with a misdirection type of villain in Mysterio. So I thought it was interesting that Mysterio used Stark tech to be able to show his holograms. He was a master manipulator and he had a full team behind him. And if you are reminded of the Incredibles and the villain who wanted to be a superhero, but he was actually controlling all of the aspects of the fight, It's okay. I'm okay that Disney and Marvel decided to do that, use what works, but it actually fit even more so with Mysterio because Mysterio didn't really have superpowers. He's just a master illusionist. Now, on the subject of Tony, there were a lot of Iron Man references and callbacks to Tony in this movie, but none of them seemed so overbearing that Peter Parker couldn't get his own sort of footing. This was absolutely a Peter Parker movie about him juggling real life versus superhero life. And he was being pulled in different directions. He's being, his Aunt May wants him to do one thing. Happy wants him to do something, and he's trying to help him out the best way he can. Nick Fury is like, I don't care about your normal life, let's do this. And it was actually interesting. I thought during the movie Nick Fury was a bit overbearing, and then the end credits scene, I realized why. We'll get to that later. So, one of the other great aspects of this movie was me as a viewer. I wasn't sure what I was seeing when I found out that Mysterio could control, not reality, but he's an illusionist and he was able to use these holograms with these drones. And I thought the scene of him telling Peter Parker and Spider-Man, you don't know what it is you see, you don't know what's real, and that whole scene harkening back to some of the old cartoons was great. It was great because I felt helpless as a viewer. I felt helpless. I didn't know what Spider-Man could do. Usually I'm thinking, it's a superhero. They're going to be able to take down the villain. In this instance, the Spider-Man's spider sense, or his Peter tingle, had not been introduced in the MCU yet. Yes, we had the hairs on the bus, but nobody ever said it was a spider sense, and the MCU did that on purpose. And what I'm finding out, and so for him not to really have his spider sense, it really felt helpless in the situation with all the illusions and him not knowing what was real and what wasn't. I thought the misdirection of the multiverse was excellent. As much as I wanted to be able to have an MCU multiverse, I think Marvel and the Russo brothers, and Feige, I think on purpose, they decided, no, we're not going to give ourselves an easy out like that, because if you do introduce a multiverse, then basically you can solve almost any problem from any type of hero, or bring in any kind of villain from any reality that you want, and then the rules start kind of losing their meaning and everything starts unraveling because you can just write in your plot points without building up. So I was worried that, oh my goodness, they're going to be able to introduce any storyline, but at the same time they could get lazy and just write off something or write in something based on the multiverse. So I was happy that that was a misdirection, because that's what Mysterio had come up with, that there was a multiverse after the snap, which was extremely believable. So we know there's no multiverse now, right? So what's next? That's the greatest part of this whole movie. What is next? Because there was an Easter egg, and I don't know if you caught it. And because I'm not, certified with everybody who gets all the clips from the movies, and I don't know how all that copyright works, I can't actually give you the actual scene in a picture format. But there is a scene at the end where Peter Parker and MJ are in the city and they're under a bridge, and if you look in the background, okay, there is construction going on, and it says, we can't wait for you to see what's next. And then it has the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and then next to it is a question mark. Marvel did this on purpose because we know that there was phase 1, phase 2, and the Spider-Man Far From Home is the end of phase 3, so we don't know what's coming in phase 4. So when they had this in the background, this was not just this is a normal city and this is what's in the background, and we've seen things like this before with construction, we can't wait for you to see what's next. I get all that. The 1, 2, 3, and then the question mark was absolutely an Easter egg put in there by the MCU and its directors and producers and writers. I thought it was excellent. So they are even teasing that even more to say, hey, this isn't it. We're really excited to show you what's next. So the mid-credit scene, we're gonna jump all the way to the mid-credit scene. The mid-credit scene with Spider-Man and MJ swinging through the city is awesome. And it was actually pretty interesting to see Zendaya be a little bit more alive in the movie, because she's very mellow and very, not mellow, she's very bland. She's funny, but she's deadpan. That's the word I'm looking for. And I love it. I love Zendaya's role. I think she's excellent. The mid-credit scene was excellent for two reasons. One was that they introduced the Daily Bugle, which is great. So one and a half. But J. Jonah Jameson is J.K. Simmons. I love that. I love that J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson. Just like Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark, J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson. J. Jonah Jameson cannot be played by anybody else except J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons, oh man, I was so happy when he was in the movie and the mid-credit scene. I loved it. The other part about this though was Peter Parker had done so much to make sure that his identity as Spider-Man was kept a secret. And then there's video, just like there would be in today's world with everybody having a camera, where Mysterio tells everybody, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And then he flashes Peter Parker's face on to the Times Square TV screen, and everybody can see it. How crazy is that? So now everybody knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, okay? Two things. One, we never thought Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, would say he's Iron Man. That's how the first Iron Man ended. Oh my gosh, how is this gonna work with everybody knowing he's a superhero? That goes against the laws of having a mask and everything with the superheroes, right? But as we saw more and more heroes, like Captain America, Steve Rogers, people knew who these people were. But Spider-Man was still in rare form of nobody knows who he is, and everybody understood why. And people knew Bruce Banner, and people knew Doctor Strange, and people, there's not masks in this MCU so much, right? Everybody knows everybody, to a point, okay? But Spider-Man seemed like an untouchable, okay? When they said that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and then they're ending it there, it's very interesting, because now, if you remember back to Spider-Man Homecoming, we did not see the Vulture die. We actually saw him meet up with Scorpion in jail. We never saw the Tinkerer die. We never saw Shocker die. Could we be setting up for an MCU version of the Sinister Six? Mysterio might not be dead. So, if you're keeping count, Dr. Octopus has not been introduced in the MCU. Kraven the Hunter hasn't been introduced in the MCU. And technically, Sandman has not been introduced in the MCU. So we've got Shocker, Electrode, kind of. It could be, you could take those out. The Shocker, Mysterio, and the Vulture. So we've got 3 out of the 6. If we get an MCU Sinister Six movie, that's gonna be awesome. Very happy that would happen, because if Sony had done it earlier, this probably would not be in the discussion. So I'm really happy about possibly getting an MCU Sinister Six. And if they can find a way to roll it in with some other heroes helping out Spider-Man, because I don't think Spider-Man is going to be able to do it by himself. And this could be a way of introducing other characters, other superheroes, other B-list Marvel heroes. It could go so many different ways, and I'm very excited about that. Okay, so the end credits scene. Let's get to this. So we find out that the Skrulls have actually been on Earth impersonating Nick Fury and Maria Hill for this whole time. So that means when the snapback came in and everybody came back, and Fury came back to Earth where he disappeared with Maria Hill, that means he must have left at the end of Endgame after Tony's funeral and went to space with Captain Marvel. But why? Why was he going up there? And if you look at the ship, it looks like he took all of S.H.I.E.L.D. with him. Because There was something so off about this movie. It seemed like Fury was there and Maria Hill was there, but yet they kept getting blindsided. How does S.H.I.E.L.D. get blindsided? Now it makes so much more sense. It was just the Skrulls impersonating them because Nick has a mission in space that he has to accomplish. Could he be looking for Galactus? Could he have heard about what's going on with Silver Surfer? Could the Fantastic Four make an appearance somewhere? Could there be another dimension that he's going to? Could there be an alternate reality that Doctor Strange introduced him to? There's so much there that actual end credits scene means so much more for the MCU than Peter Parker's identity being shown, and he's being shown to be Spider-Man. Because that sets up the Sinister Six. Awesome. J.K. Simmons is back as J. Jonah Jameson. Awesome. But I don't know why Nick Fury is in space. And why it was so important that he said, well, I still need you to pretend to be me on Earth. I need a Skrull to pretend to be me. How crazy is that? So, this movie, I actually enjoyed it a lot more than Homecoming. I thought it had its quips, I thought it had its romance, I thought it had the action, but Mysterio actually was the biggest surprise of this whole movie, and I loved it. I loved that Marvel tied off that multiverse thing right away within the movie to let us know that Mysterio was making the entire thing up. And I really am I am so excited about Phase 4. This has been another edition of L.I.F.T Tutoring. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you comment and share. Make sure you check back for new videos. And also, if there are Dr. Seuss books that you want me to read, if there's certain topics that you want me to cover as far as education and how it relates to your child, please do so. Remember, we do these reviews because it helps you know more as a parent, and you can help talk to your children with more information, and then you can have them critically think, and you can ask them all those how and why questions. Even though it's not in a book, you are still working those strategies. So continue to develop a love for lifelong learning, chase your infinity, and we will catch you in the next video. And one of these days I will, and I don't know if I'm gonna live stream it, what I'm gonna do, but in the future. One of these days I am gonna watch all these movies back to back to back to back to back.